Now, I'm joined here at the scene by Dvir, Abramovich, who is the chair of the Anti-Defamation Commission. You're also a local here in this area, Dvir. When you heard about this morning, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
Well, I was angry, I was heartbroken, I was outraged. This is not just an attack on a synagogue. This is a personal attack on my family, on my community, and on the city that I love. And I grew up in Melbourne, always believing that this was a safe city for Jews. But this faith and this belief has been shattered, especially over the last 14 months.
Do you think this is the worst escalation of anti-Semitism in this community so far?
Well, I think it's the inevitable and the natural result of what happens when for 14 months anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism and anti-Israel sentiment is running rampant and wild, and nobody seems to be doing anything about this. And I have a message for those people who perpetrated this evil act. You will not break our spirit. You will not silence us. You will not intimidate us. This will only strengthen our resolve to keep living as proud and pre-Jews.
What do you make of the response from political leaders to this attack so far? We've heard from the Prime Minister who's condemned it. The Premier has also put out a statement. Do you think that's enough?
Look, I appreciate the sentiments both by the Premier and the Prime Minister, but the time for words is over. What the Jewish community who is sick and tired of the frontal assault on our way of life, on who we are, is we need action. We need the Prime Minister, we need the Premier, we need governments across the country to enforce the law. We need to crack down on this anti-Semitism, on this assault on the Jewish community, which doesn't seem to stop. We don't need for a Jewish man or woman or child to be killed for this cancer, for this national crisis to be taken seriously.
Do you think that those responsible should face federal laws or federal charges in addition to state charges?
Well, I will leave it to the law enforcement to decide what the charge is, but I have to tell you that for many Jews, this feels like domestic terrorism. And the only surprise is that anybody is surprised that this has happened in the heart of the Jewish community. And we are going to be fighting back. We will not allow our lives and our way of life to be destroyed. Enough is enough. And my call again is to the Prime Minister, to the Premier, stand shoulder to shoulder with us, lock arms with us, and use all the tools available to make sure that we feel safe in our city and in our nation.
Dvir Abramovich, thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate it. Dvir Abramovich from the Anti-Defamation Commission joining us here.